Hello and welcome, I'm CuddlyJay, and today we'll be looking at a Bloodmoon PvE staff build, alright? So let's get straight into this, shall we? So now we are going to go over the Bloodmoon staff abilities. So Reality Fissure is the first one. I like this because it's more of an AoE kind of. You just shoot this off into a direction of choice. It does deal damage to everything it hits, and will deal 253 magical damage to all the enemies. It, by the way, hitting at least one enemy with the first reality crack will give you a shift charge. Shift charges are used so when you transform, you can use your other abilities and deal more damage in your werewolf form. Next, you're going to use Reality Fissure. This is the second kind of ability for Reality Fissure. You just shoot this off again, does the exact same thing, but this time it will deal 433 magical damage to all enemies it hits. It will also, if you hit at least one enemy, apply 2 shift charges on you and continue the combo. Next, we're going with Distortion. The main reason I like this is because it's an AoE ability. Basically, you're going to throw this down onto your enemies. It's a 4-meter radius, and it will last 3 seconds. It'll deal 253 magical damage every 0.75 seconds. It does slow your enemies by 20%, but that doesn't really matter in PvE. And then each enemy it hits, it applies 1 shift charge on you, up to 2 times. Then for our passive, just go with Alter Beast. This is when you transform, you increase your max and current health by 2% for 5 seconds for each shift charge you have. Stacks up to 5 times. So now we're going to discuss the werewolf abilities. So you've transformed, and you're going to use the first one, which is Tear Open. So tear apart everything in the cone in front of you, and you deal 379 physical damage to all enemies it hits. If you have at least 1 shift charge on you, alright, and that's active on you, it will consume it, and you'll create a blood pool behind the first enemy you hit. Once you enter those blood pools that will be on the ground, you'll consume them. You will restore, by the way, 120 health and increase your move speed by 40% for 3 seconds. So you got some sort of, life steal there. Next, you got Rip Through. So dash through the target enemy of your choice, landing behind them, basically 3 meters behind them, and you deal 506 physical damage to any enemy you pass through, alright? It also increases your attack damage by 150% for 3 seconds. Then you can, of course, end your transformation, and then your passive is called Frenzied Slashes. Every auto attack, your auto attack speed is increased by 10% for 2 seconds, and this stacks up to 5 times. So now we're going to go with the cowl first, the headgear. We're going with the Mage Cowl. I just like this because I wanted more damage. Fire Breath, breathe fire in a cone in front of you, dealing 384 magical damage over 3 seconds to all enemies you hit. And then, of course, you have Aggression, increases all your, damage and healing cast by 3.5% for the passive. We're just doing that mainly for the damage. Next, you're going to go with Guardian Boots. For the passive, just go with Toughness to increase your defense. And then for your abilities, you have a choice here. You can go with Rejuvenating Sprint, which will give you a move speed of 80% and heal you for 105 health over 5 seconds. That's the only reason I really chose this one. You could also go for Giant if you want. Grow to a giant form, increasing your max and current health by 100% and your move speed by 25% for 8 seconds. It's up to you which one you choose. Next, we're going to go with the Hellion Jacket. So I'm going with Lifesteal Aura. This is just so you can pop it and get a bunch of lifesteal back. I know I'm not going to go over everything, but it works very good in large PvE groups of enemies. So pop it and you'll get a bunch of health back. For your passive, go with Balanced Mind, which will increase your defense, your damage, and your healing cast by 4%. Now, if you want, you could also go with a Stalker Jacket, alright? And you could pop Electric Field, which will do a 6-meter radius around you lasting 5 seconds, and deal 62 magical damage to all enemies within the field every 0.5 seconds. And then you could do a Swiftness here for your auto attack speed to be increased by 12% for the passive, or if you want to balance mine again. It's really up to you. But I'm just giving you a couple of choices, if you want to, change it up a little bit. Next, you're going to go with the normal bag, and then for your cape, if you can afford it, go with a Fitful cape. I just like the lightning attack. You perform an auto attack, jumps between up to 4 enemies, and deals 173 magical damage. It's a very nice cape, but if you can't afford it, just go with a normal cape as well. Overall, I hope you enjoyed this Bloodmoon staff werewolf build for PvE. Anyway, I'll see you around. Bye bye.